Speech off.
Alright, everybody, here we are, chapter 23. The traveler has reached his final obstacle. Success will unite the celestial and earthly realms. Failure will return him to blind helplessness. Ha 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 ha. This is clearly a trap, Simi says, as the five of us pile into Mystique's car. But at least we know where he is. Wait, hold on. But at least we know where he is, Dad says, jerking in and out of traffic, honking every few seconds and yelling profanities at the other drivers. And he probably doesn't expect a group of people, just you, Shapri adds, slurping one of my energy drinks. I agree with Simi, I say. I don't think you all need to come with me. I don't think you should all come with me. You should stay behind and let me handle Dax. I don't think so, Dad says, forgetting to ratchet. Ratchet it? Forgetting to ratchet it down to his inside the car voice. I don't think so, Dad says, forgetting to ratchet it down to his inside the car voice. Everything will be okay, Mystique adds. We've prepared as much as we can, and we don't know for sure whether Dax is really dangerous or not. Don't know for sure? Don't know for sure? Oh, come on. How? How can we not? Alex, talk nicely, Dad commands. His tone shows there is no room for compromise here. Oh, let us write. We don't know for sure. There are two types of prophecies. Yeah, those that can be stopped and those that'll happen no matter what. I get it. Maybe by helping and finding him now will change his entire course. The universe may have been sending you these strong visions as a way to make sure we'd go and get him. Oh, sorry, wrong voice, yeah. Maybe by finding and helping him now will change his entire course. The universe may have been sending you all these strong visions as a way to make sure we'd go and get him, Simi says, from my left. She lays her head on my shoulder and reaches for my hand. I give her a kiss on the forehead. We've been dating for a few weeks now, but we've never gone out on a normal date. It's always about improving our gifts, so we would be ready for what we have to do today. If we get out of this alive, I'm bringing her a dozen of Mom's best roses and taking her to a fancy 5-star restaurant. Shapri grabs my right hand and squeezes hard. Ow, We're going already. Aren't you happy now? We're going already. Aren't you happy now? Shapri whispers and then sniffs. Oh. And then sniffs back. The salty beginnings of tears. Scents of cherries permeate the car. Monster does weird stuff to you, huh? I laugh. Dad reaches back from the driver's seat to slap me on the knee. Shut up, he hisses. Then Shapri speaks again. Her grip on my hand tightens. Please go away. She erupts in tears, and Simi lets go of my hand so I can hold my weeping friend with both arms. By the time we reach the zoo, it's noon. The air is a little warmer, but the occasional snowflake still falls from the sky. Okay, what do we do now? I ask, as we each take turns pushing our way through the turnstile. We find him, obviously, Shapri says. We work together to find him, Mystique corrects. Alex, zoom in. Tell us what you see. Dunno, I say, after I've had a few minutes to search in my mind. There's too much going on, but he's definitely still here. Let me see what I can do, Dad says. We spend the next half hour waddling after him like little ducklings as he follows the noise of people's brains trying to pinpoint our psychic. Of course, New York is a huge hotspot, so this task isn't easy. Simi and Shapri flank me on either side, helping me maneuver around this unfamiliar place. Dad continues to lead us in circles, winding from the African plains to the sea lions to the gift shop, round and round again. Each exhibit smells horrible, but distinct. On our third go-round, I feel as if I could navigate the zoo myself. At this rate, the park will close before we find Dax. Should I seek him out? Talk to him again? That will completely throw our chances of making a sneak attack. But at this point, what choice have I got? I spin my bracelet and let my thoughts race around like a pool of feeding fish until I find him. I stand in place and continue walking by on both sides of me. Wait, I stand in place as people, continue walking by on both sides of me, laughing, chatting, and playing. A sharp scream pierces the thin, cold air. The sound waves reverberate like daggers, several more. Screams, running, crying. A loud roar rises about the commotion, followed by a low, deep laugh. I'm jostled out of the vision when the girls grab tight on my arms and force me to run. We step onto a moving carousel and clutch the dancing figures as frantic children dismount and dart to the exit. What's going on? I demand. A new explosion of sounds and smells assaults me. Animal musk, wet fur, the hot breath of carnivores, like more screaming, shouting, and crying. It all whirls around me. I hear Dad, but he's far off, somewhere to my right. I can't hear Mystique at all. The animals have been let out of their cage, Simi shrieks. Something large gallops by. Something else roars. Seconds later, the smell of raw flesh explodes in the air. Blood spatters everywhere, including on the carousel and its few remaining passengers. I gag. The stench of the sideways rain shower is almost too much to take. A gigantic carcass falls forward with a wet plunk and slides across the pavement, its corpse continuing to flee, even though it's too late. Too late to escape. Children scream. Someone's voice blares, though, through a megaphone, telling everyone to stay calm, but no one listens. We've got to do something, I yell over the chaos. Simi lets go of my hands and begins to walk toward the edge of the carousel, slowly, with a determination I just can't understand. Her scent receding. What are you doing? I cry. Are you crazy? I circle my arms around her waist, but she fights free. Stay here, Shapri warns. Else the same thing that happened to that giraffe is going to happen to you. Simi doesn't say anything, just keeps moving away. I try to follow her, but she breaks into a sprint, and with all the other people and animals running around, I can't keep track of her. No, come back, I scream. When Simi doesn't listen, I beg anyone I can catch. I beg anyone I can catch, grabbing at their arms as they hurry past me. Save that girl, I beg. Keep her safe, please. They shake me off, selfishly worried more about their own safety than Simi's. Dad retrieves me from the middle of the frenzy and takes me back to the carousel. Stay with Shapri, he orders. Then he and Miss Teak run after Simi. Don't let him get her, I shout, but they can't hear me over the chaotic jungle of sounds and motion. I can barely hear me. Days pass, months, years. I feel like I'm going to grow old and die clinging to this plastic carousel creature. Then Simi's voice rises above the din. She chants over and over, just that one sound. It drowns out the roars, quiets the screaming. The scene grows silent, as if sucked into a vacuum cleaner. The only sound is Simi's calming humming. Shapri? I ask. What happened? Is Simi okay? Where did the animals go? I can't explain it exactly, she answers between gasps for air. She just started singing and then all the animals laid down in their places. Most of the people too. Everything just stopped. What about Dax? I don't know, she apologizes. Some people are still awake, but they all look really confused. My guess is he's one of them. Stay here, I command, rising from my crouch and walking into the scene. This new mixture of smells is a little confusing. Animal and human bodies are littered everywhere, gently breathing as if they're asleep. I've got to navigate with care to avoid stepping on them or hitting them with my cane. A rain of thuds comes from every direction, each preceded by a creak. People are coming out of the indoor exhibits, weakening and falling to the pavement. The thuds are slow, then stop altogether. Follow me, Dad instructs in a calm, assertive tone from somewhere across the park. We'll need your help. Some people ignore his request and leave the zoo. Others amble over to him, forming a small and placid mob. Simi continues her soothing, rhythmic hum. Her song is pulsing out from a spot just next to Dad and his cluster of helpers. They are a human barricade. I can trust Dad to keep her safe. Now's my time to strike. It's time to finish this. Dax, I call in my most ominous tone. Dax, I know you're here. A reversal of our first talk. Well, it took you long enough, someone answers in a snide tone. A form moves me in the A form moves toward me. There we go. Toward me in the stillness. Each footstep is a drumbeat echoing through the open air. Didn't realize I was dealing with a cripple. This'll be easier than I thought. He cracks his knuckles, about to throw a punch or whatever his gifted version of that would be. A gust of hurricane strength wind shoots diagonally over my head and into the sky. Dax grunts and falls to the ground. Alex, run! Straight to your right. Go! Shapri runs from where Dax was standing. I waste no time in following her instructions. I flee to the side. I thwack a few people with my cane on the way and hope I'm not hurting anyone too badly. I trip over a heap of sleeping bodies right before I run into a glass door. Inside! Go! You'll be able to... Her voice cuts off, and hurried footsteps carry in my direction. I dart inside and throw my body against the door as a barricade. Nice try, Dax says, as he uses another gust of wind to force the door open. It swings back and forth violently, sending my body flying until it hits the far wall of the exhibit. My nose breaks. The horizontal fall. Blood spurts out like a geyser. I lift my hand in an attempt to staunch the flow. My cane is gone. I already have no idea how my powers of second sight can beat out Dax's telekinesis. Now there's no hope. I'm completely useless without my sight. Here, Dax says. The cane floats through the air and wraps itself into my hand. Let's keep this fight as fair as possible. He laughs at the absurdity of that statement. Unless something major happens fast, I'm going to lose. Something furry zooms through the air and pummels me in the chest. More soft, fleshy objects fly at me, one by one, then in a deluge. High-pitched shrills accompany them as they approach. One hits me on the face, and I realize in horror that it is a small mouse-like creature. Its scaly tail whips my neck. A larger object pushes through the air, creating a gust of thick wind as it rushes toward me. I lift my cane and grasp an end in each of my hands, pushing it out in front of me. I'm able to counteract the blow. The animal screams as it hits my cane, then scurries away. Stop, I protest. Why are you hurting these animals? Why are you hurting me? Why are you stalking me? Dax growls, sounding every bit as much like an animal as his weapons. I suck in a deep breath of air, but don't respond. Groping about the wall, I search for something that I can use as a weapon. Don't want me to use the mice? Fine. Dax shouts. Glass shatters, and something new flies my way. It hits the wall just near my head, crunching a hole in the doorway. Crunching a hole in the doorway, then falls by my feet. A massive rock. If that would have hit me, I'd be dead. I have to strike. I have to get in my moves, or this will all be over in a matter of seconds. My grip firm on my cane, my only weapon, my favorite. I kick back against the wall and propel myself forward several steps. then throw my cane at Dax like a javelin, waiting for the satisfying sound of impact. The cane reverses and crashes into my chest, knocking me to the ground. I scramble for it in an attempt to get back on my feet, but an invisible hand presses me into the ground. Silence. Dax walks toward me. Steps, deliberate. Step by deliberate step. A lion examining his victim before taking the final bite of its jugular. I don't understand what you want with me, I whimper. More blood flows into my mouth, blurring my words. What I want with you? You're the one who came to me, so why don't you answer the question first? He closes the final distance between us. I back away by dragging my body along the ground. I still can't get to my feet. Ugh, if only my superpower was something more useful, like walking through walls. I came to save Simmy, I say, disdain tainting my taste buds more than the blood. To save Simmy, he asks, with a mix of shock and false humor. Well, it's too late for that now, isn't it? I can't read his tone. Does he even know who Simmy is yet? If he doesn't, then why would he say it is too late? Don't hurt her, I plead. I think you should focus on saving yourself, little man. I don't like people who can't leave enough alone. I turn my head to the side. And wait. Wait for... I turn my head to the side and wait for the pain. Instead, a whirling sound comes from above, followed by a bunch of little clicks. And then everything is silent, save for a confused squeaks of the exhibit creatures that haven't yet been used as projectiles. The force that nailed me to the ground disappears. Whatever just happened has caused Dax to lose his focus. I jump to my feet before he can recover. I've cut the power, Alex, Dad yells from somewhere outside of the building. It's pitch black in there. You have the advantage. My senses fight for attention. All right, let me shift position. All right. My senses fight for attention. The taste of blood, the pain radiating out from the center of my face, the sound of Dax's breathing and Simmy's humming, the smell of my Axe deodorant spray. My body acts before my mind forms the command. Thwack, straight to Dax's face. He cries out with a gurgling scream. Not as manly as Brady, I see. I hit him again and again, following the sound of his breathing and the motion of his shuffling feet as he tries to navigate the room. Without the aid of his dominant sense. I'm going to have to thank Brady for the pre-game fight someday. I continued to beat Dax around like a ball of lifeless flesh, stirring up his unique aroma of of berries and blood with each of my blows. He attempts to stand but struggles in the darkness. How quickly our roles have reversed. Each time he makes a little progress in his upward climb, I knock him back to the floor. Dax gives up on returning physical blows and starts trying his best with me. And starts trying to best me with his powers. He sends gusts of wind at random. Glass shatters around the room. Mice and other small animals scamper out of their exhibits and claw at the exit. Thank God we're not in a reptile house. This time I laugh. It feels good to beat the crud out of this jerk. He claws at the ground like the rodents, pulling himself across the floor. His fear is tangible. It tastes like sweat and broken ego. I help move him toward his destination by delivering swift kicks to his side. My nose doesn't hurt so much anymore. It's as if I'm transferring my physical pain to Dax with each strike. He sends another gust of wind in the direction of the mice's pitter-patter with the blows. And blows the door off his hinges instead. A rain of barely detectable thuds sounds around the door as the animals succumb to the effect of Simmy's sleep ray. The light brought through the open door gives Dax his vision back and a second wind of energy. He hurls me back, but this time I only stumble a few feet. He's losing strength. I've beaten it out of him. Still, this gives him enough time to get away. The fight moves outside. Alex, no! Dad races over, his feet pounding against the pavement, and grabs my hand before I can deliver another blow. He's practically gone. Give him a chance to explain himself. You don't want someone's death on your hands. His voice shakes, and he swallows hard. Dax must look like a complete wreck if it's got Dad worked up. I've never known him to have a weak stomach. Shapri moves to the other side of Dax's body. He's still lying on the ground and hasn't addressed us yet, other than to moan in pain. The three of us tower above him, waiting for a response. Simmy continues to chant, but her throat is weakening. We need to act fast. Something. Where's Mystique in all of this? Well, I demand, delivering another kick to his side. I didn't mean to hurt anyone, he sputters. Honestly. He's lying, I fume, readying my cane to give him another hit. Dad blocks it with my hand. Give the man a chance, he says again. I'm sorry, Dax whimpers. Really, I just wanted... All right, but do you promise you won't hurt me? Shapri asks, cutting Dax off. I won't hurt you. I didn't mean to hurt anyone, Dax answers. Sounding confused, Shapri asks again, not making sense to any of us. And you'll leave as soon as it's finished? What are you talking? Dax begins, but his voice is drowned out by the overwhelming scent of berries. Daddy, keep me safe, Shapri cries before choking and falling forward on the paved walkway. Dad puts his hands on my shoulder. We wait. Shapri pushes herself back up off the ground. She speaks, but it's not her voice that comes out. Brother, what have you done here? A young girl asks from inside her. Simi? Dax asks with a shiver, sitting up and leaning toward Shapri. Simi? Simi.